What is up, everybody? This is Edward back on another video. This is another episode of Everyone Hates Black Men. Once again, I know it's redundant, but I got a habit of saying that. I am your host, Edward Anderson, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. A topic that you all have had. I'm probably one of the last ones to talk about this topic today. And why am I talking about this topic? Are we talking about April Mason, which is a topic of conversation because I just want to be like everybody else? No, I've probably promoted April Mason. Used to be one of the top people I used to promote. She was probably the first female that I actually promoted as somebody that black women should listen to. This goes all the way back to like Facebook and stuff like that. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a deep dive into kind of the post that she did. Most of you all have already seen the post or heard the post, Oshay or somebody. So I'll read it briefly. So that's there. I mean, I have the post right in front of me. How do y'all like the I actually created this. How do y'all like that? How do y'all like the little banner? That's what I'll probably start doing little banners and stuff like that. You know, shout out to what's it called with the super sticker. Shout out to Blackfoot with the $5 super sticker. Much appreciated. And obviously, if y'all want to support the Cash App, let's bring this in. And then let's also bring in what I stole from Charles, the parental advisory explicit contents. You have been warned. You have been warned. All right. And I know Red Supreme was probably going live. I just decided to go live. Shout out to Jugman Jets. Yeah, like I said, I have the capability of making this shit really hot. I just get lazy about it. But I'm definitely going to start, giving y'all some more better production values, music. Obviously the content's fire, but music, a lot of stuff like that. And then I got different kinds. That ain't just the only one I can do, and I can put that stuff together relatively quickly. Yeah, shout out to Charles. Yeah, I didn't, I actually stopped promoting her a little bit before she actually flipped. But I remember I did give her the benefit of the doubt, and then she did what black people do. And a lot of people think I did this with previous situations, to be fair. People double and triple down on stupid. And I actually have there's gonna be content that's gonna be put exclusively on Patreon. So when I do launch that and give you the link for that, keep that in mind. And I'm actually gonna get a Vimeo, reactivate my Vimeo account, because they're like, when I put stuff on there, I'm not putting it on there for people to just take it from YouTube, download it. I'm putting it on there for it to be exclusive to that. So there will be things that I bring up there that I might not at all touch on YouTube. Like I might not even do a live video unlisted. So keep that in mind. But I actually got some talking points as well that I wanted to kind of put out there. So as far as the origin, so as far as like, I go all the way back to Facebook with April Mason. So a lot of these people didn't come to YouTube first. Like Danica Marie was not on YouTube first. Tiny TKL, they come from Facebook, and Facebook is a lot more. Facebook is very much so more gynocentric, even in YouTube. Like if you, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, TikTok is pretty gynocentric too. It's hard to put any like keeping it 100 content really on TikTok, or it's got to be done and it's got to be done in a very slick way. But Facebook was the original gynocentric platform, and so women like like Tiny TKO can survive there because she's a female. And to be fair, a lot of even women will sometimes get canceled out if women get triggered. Facebook is very responsive to if you report a video because you're upset. But going back to April blew up on Facebook. And part of what she blew up is she kind of had, I remember the main video that really promoted her. And that was like a video that she was talking about black femininity. And here's the thing. April is not the most feminine female out there. That's not really the her draw. Her draw is that a lot of black women can see themselves in her, and they can see they can see what they could be on the other side if they calm the fuck down, shut the fuck up, actually listen to somebody and actually do the work, and relax. And so although there were other people that could probably push more hardcore on femininity, April was somebody that these women could identify with because of what her past is and where she's been. April has the black female badges of I've been through shit and all of that. But April is a unique person because, well, not unique, but she comes from a lot of different worlds. She comes from the church world, so that whole infrastructure and economic infrastructure there. She comes from she is a marketer. So a lot of this stuff inner blends together. That's the thing about Atlanta. You get a lot of different worlds that inner blend together. But as far as this, that's originally. So I used to promote her a lot. Then it comes down to, and Bernard mentioned this, but it comes down to she did this thing with her cousin, and then what she did was she expected to snap her fucking. She did. It's a it's a YouTuber by the name of Courtney. She's like one of these Instagram skit folks, and she's really good. And she does this thing like ladies, get you a man that does it like she got control over a man, and then it always looks stupid. It's kind of like self-deprecating a little bit, and it's funny. It's funny. Shows she got a sense of humor. Pretty much April Mason did a similar thing where she did that. She probably said in her groups, if I'm gonna guess, ladies, watch how I do this. And then she snapped her finger, and then when dudes didn't come like she expected them to, she looked goofy. So then it became, black men don't do this and black men don't protect. And that's a very big deal. And people will say, well, why is that a big deal? What's the difference between that and any other black female? It's because you supposedly are teaching other women femininity, but you have this the way you fundamentally view femininity is a way of controlling men. And the thing is, April is kind of one of the ones that's like that. She is really fine lines, and she understands the concept of reciprocity, so I will give her that. But the way femininity is sold to black women so they buy into it is that this is a way of getting more out of a man. Now, whether the intention for that is to control or it's that women keep on processing it as control because they are controlling as hell, which is a whole nother set can of worms. You can debate that. But how this stuff is sold between her, when Nicole was first selling it, it's amazing how black women all tend to default to the same thing when it comes to marketing to black women on this topic. It's always about how can you get what you want out of a man, not femininity as like a state of being. And to be fair, they all talk about it as a state of being, but that's not really what it's sold on. That's not the trailer that's not what they put in the trailer or the advertisement for femininity, because black women don't see value in that. Black women see value in how to get the nigga I want, how to get the nigga to do what the fuck I want, how to get a man if I don't want a nigga to do the former two things I just said. Other than that, femininity is useless to black women. That is actually the problem. That women are actually in conflict and in defiance of their own womanhood, which makes them fundamentally fucking insane. And so you had the situation with Rebecca Lynn Pope, and then she took it back because she wants to make money, sell courses. Remember, Rebecca Lynn Pope is in the church infrastructure too. Even if they're not deep into it, they're like in it, out of it, around it. So she basically tried to take back everything she said, even though she's got the video up, that she still collected views off of it. Then you got Nicole that said what she said as far as black women, but she still had to say something about Kevin, because even though Kevin's doing what a man is supposed to do, which is basically picking up the slack that what y'all don't want to do, because y'all don't want to really regulate these women because it's just too hard, and y'all don't even want to get paid to regulate these women. Shout out to O'Shea, because that's a fucking thankless job, which is what I was telling Ruby on Bitter Truth thing. Check that out in my community tab. Here we go with April. And April had a matchmaking service. April had a femininity coach service, which, let's make no mistake, she's still making money off that service. I mean, honestly, April pretty much built the platform. What it sounds like April's doing is she's no longer taking consultations. She still has her courses up. She still has she said she had 50 courses. That's a lot. That's a lot of courses. So she probably has packages, all that stuff. But she's not going to be actively involved with dealing with the bullshit. She like, you want the information, it's there, it's going to be there. However, if you want coaching and stuff, you're not going to pay me enough. It's not paying me enough to deal with your bullshit, because they're not. What she's essentially saying is most black women that come to her are not coachable. You're just not. And this is what black men are saying. This is why black women tend to run into what they run into. So we're gonna go through. So now that I got a good amount of you all in there, make sure you get the likes up. We're gonna go through the post really quick, and what I'm gonna do that's unique to everybody else is we're gonna actually go through some of the comments. So let's and it goes. April Mason yesterday, and she did this 9 a.m. in the morning when she posted this, so this shit was on her heart. So after 10 years of helping women in this area, it's time to move on. And to be fair, 10 years is a lot. I mean, 10 years is a long time. Let's just keep that real. It's time to move on. I had dozens of success stories from women who are now married, engaged, or dating high caliber men. My track record speaks for itself. However, the majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations, the selfishness, the fake everything, think they should be chosen because they have a vagina and good looks. The entitlement just mean not knowing the difference between being a woman and a wise woman, and will fight you to be strong, not knowing how to be versus do. What the fuck did I just say? What did I just say? Thinking being a feminine woman is weak or pick me, whatever that is. We know what a pick me is in the black community, because a pick me is never applied to non-black men. Being disagreeable, defensive, argumentative about everything, in caps, always finding something to nitpick about, looking for perfection, in all caps again. If you mention anything about doing something kind for a man, they chose all in, remember, they chose Remember, all in caps. For that, it's the what is he going to do for me, and the list goes on. Now, this doesn't excuse men's behavior, because we always, because see, you're talking to children at this point, mental children. Motherfuckers want to talk about black women developing. Well, you got women that are 40 years old that's got the mindset of a child. Bernice Burgos. So yeah, being disagreeable. I mean, now this doesn't excuse the men's behavior. A lot of men think because they are high earning, it makes them high value men. Not, I'm gonna talk about that. Those who are loyal followers, I know I get on them hard as hell. This post just isn't about them. I have just made my contribution and impact in this area because for decades to come, I have over 50 courses that women who may need help in this area can rent or buy on aprilmasonondemand.com. I'm gonna check that out just to see what she's got. And if anything, because I like as somebody that's a marketer and deals in information, I always like to see how people package stuff and stuff like that. I'm actually on Derek Jackson's list just to see how he does what he does. That's interesting enough. A wise woman knows when to exit on a high note. And it's got 700 shares, 13 comments. And then, by the way, keep in mind, one of her first comments is working with the men is so much easier and they listen faster. And she didn't have to type that. And then she said, for clarity, I'm not leaving. I'm just closing the dating academy division of April Mason Enterprises. Bigger, better opportunity, traveling. Can't tell you yet. I mean, basically, she ain't dealing with the direct response money no more. She's going to turn that into a passive income asset that she built up. So let's go through a couple of these things, as you all probably already sat through with other people, but I'm going to give my take. I'm going to jump around. First of all, with the men are not high, because they're not high earning, they're not high value. What somebody values is predicated on what somebody wants. And the problem is, the way we like to talk about these things are like on some universal value shit. And everything is not valued at the same rate. I've seen conversations with Anton and Charles Faulkner on Shannon's joint. I put the link in the community tab. Those back and forths. I've seen a couple of other conversations as well. Shout out to Bernard Riley again with Obsidian. And the thing about it is, everything is not valued at the same rate as everybody. You have certain people that value security. You have certain people that value. I'm talking about, like, everybody wants everything, but I'm talking about if you have to make them pick what they prioritize, and everybody prioritizes something. Everybody, when it really comes down to it. And so when people talk about high value versus high earning, let's keep this all the way 100. Now you could talk about somebody like DJ Academics and say, okay, he's high earning, but does that make him high value? Well, it depends on who you're dealing. It depends on who you're dealing with, but some people would say he's a good example of not. But what high earning puts you in position to do is it puts you in position to actually shore up everything else. Because if you're high earning and you have somewhat control of your time, or if you don't, you can buy coaching. You can get the help that you need. And you have women that want to say, well, I want a high earning. Like when you ask them what is high value, black women only really see at least when they call Kevin. And it's not just black. In fact, this ain't mainly black women, but women, like, you can't take the money out of it. Like, the money is a big piece, and everybody can't make the money. Everybody can't make the money. So it's just like how everybody can't be 6 feet. Everybody can't make the money. So sometimes you're going to have to make a choice of, is the money really that important? Because if you're a female and you make $150,000 a year, which people like to act like is a lot, is like, oh, I do it. Like, when I know how y'all spend, y'all can really go through that depending on where you live. We're not going to undermine dudes that can put themselves in that higher earning power, because there's not a lot of black men that can. And it's not a lot of men that can. Your pool is 10% of men in general. This is why when you look at a lot of black women like Sage Steele or a lot of them or Serena Williams, they end up they're economically dating down. And by the way, that's what dating down usually means is economically, because women don't date down on looks. They're just not going to deal with a man. They're just going to get whatever toys they are. Women don't date down on looks. Women date down on economics. So when people like to say high earning, that's really designed to knock men down a peg. And the reality of the situation is a lot of the stuff that women say is predicated on black men being, or men being exclusive to them. This is why when black women complain in markets like California, where April Mason's from, but she's in Atlanta, they don't win in those markets as much because you may not value a dude that's got paper, or you may not acquiesce to that because you have your feelings on black men, but other women will. Other women will find a way to like a dude. Now, and we like to make, oh, this dude is ugly, and this is like, let's say you're high earning, but you're short. Well, Latin women ain't gonna have that big. You'll probably have an easier time dealing with a Latin female than you would dealing with a black female. Oh, well, they don't really care about you. They care about you because of money, and you don't. And you don't, right? Well, see. So that's never entered into the conversation when stuff like that is said, because black women get triggered. And again, April is in the business of making money off of black women. This is not to say she doesn't provide value to them, but she's still in the business of making money, which means she's not going to say anything that's going to basically create interference from the buying process. So that context doesn't matter until after you've bought the course. So that's just the first thing I wanted to say, because you always got to put, it can't be, black women. It's always got to be, well, now this is not the excuse to men, because you're talking again to children. Everything, you can't never hold them account, because these women are not operating like adults. She didn't have to make this post, by the way. She didn't have to make this post. And remember, this is, to me, even though it's probably absorbed better than Rebecca Lynn Pope's, this is actually worse than Rebecca Lynn Pope's, because you got to remember, she typed this, and to be cool, clearly she knows how to spell, and she knows she's got good grammar, but which means she went through it. I mean, she typed this and she read this, so she meant this shit. This ain't no where Rebecca had this like moment where she probably talked to a client and got fucking pissed and turned on the goddamn camera and just let it have it, and then pressed the button. Oh, Glendon Cameron. But anyway, she typed this shit. This was and remember, this is a marketer. This is somebody that understands copy. A lot of people don't know that about April. April's an internet marketer. Now, granted, she probably has people to do a lot of things for her, but she knows what's good and what's not. She is a marketer. Like a lot of the branding and stuff, like even when you get somebody to do that for you, you have to have an understanding what image, and she's a consultant. She's an internet marketing consultant. A lot of people don't know that about her. So I'm telling you, she meant this shit, and she communicated it the way she wanted it communicated, which is why she strategically put that there more towards the bottom. But she wanted the point to be felt. This is, so I want y'all to understand that she meant this shit. This wasn't some shit that just accidentally happened. This stuff is well written, well formatted, well copied. So she meant this motherfucking shit. And I want y'all to understand that. And this is a black woman. This is a black woman that's been through, I believe, abuse. And I'm not talking about no light BS abuse. That's documented for her. She has, 2 kids. They are productive. Her daughter is very productive, even though she had a baby on her. She's step dude, loyal. Like Adriana actually has she has her own stuff, and she don't really lean on her mom for it. She does more of the real estate. I got that kind of stuff. The point is, she raised kids to actually deal with people, and they do deal with black people. So my point is, and she's been through it. So this isn't somebody that doesn't understand and empathize with black females bullshit. I mean, you saw what she did when she did what she did with Kerrison. When she got mad at black men. Now she want to talk about getting white men. And look, I'm from the school. Cool, go get them. Go get them. I mean, I'm like, go get him. Let's go. Let me show you some white dudes for you to deal with. Let you know, like we're good. That's kind of one of the origins of that shit too. Actually, the origins of that mentality is when I saw that picture of her and Harrison, because she's a marketer. She knew what the fuck that was communicating. She's not an idiot. She knows what that communicates when she does that. See, in her mind, that's putting black men on notice. And I'm like, the way you deal with that shit is you like, no, go get that white man. Let's see if you can do better. Because when we look at all these celebrities and how that shit works out, Stacey Dash on Xanax and they wilding out. I mean, these motherfuckers are being broken. So go do it if you really believe that, because it ain't like we ain't gonna be fucking you still. I mean, I don't even know what they think they doing when they doing that. I mean, supposedly Carrison's with a black dude. You know, like it's just the games that people play. But I want y'all to really understand, from a marketer, another marketer, she meant this shit. She meant this shit. You know, this shit was put here. This was not some emotional, which means she really this is not some shit. This is some shit that she knows. And she always knew. But see, this is not a part of her brand. You can't, it's not a part of her brand to really chastise women, because that's not gonna make her money. And that doesn't make her bad. But like I told you, one of the values of the black manosphere is we can tell you the truth where others can't, because we have no incentive to take money from women like that. We just don't. And this goes back to Kevin. And to be fair to April, I don't think April has mentioned Kevin at all. She did what most people should have did, was just keep the fucking mouth shut. But because again they're so emotional, and the women are coming at some of these people, and this includes men, so hard, they had to say something, because they know, you know, he's out there. She's probably been able to kind of hold that off. But this is the same stuff as O'Shea said as Kevin's been having. So let's go through this. 10 years, and she's really been in this game longer. However, the majority of unrealistic expectations, the selfishness of fake everything. And remember, she's talking to a lot of people in Atlanta. This is, if you compare this to like stuff that Rebecca Lynn Pope said, it's almost like, it's not word for word, but it's phrase for phrase. Let me see. We'll fight you. Like, the biggest things that jump out to me on this is like, fight you to be strong. Like, again, and why is that important? Fight you to be strong. This is a woman that these women identify with her because of her past, her story. April was not always this way. You can clearly look at videos back when she was more deeper in the church. And as to how April was probably one of these classic black church female feminists. Classic example that Kevin Samuels talks about. And fight you to be strong. That's their identity. They don't know how to be nothing else. Why is that important? Because when you hear women like Courtney say shit like, this is what I was taught, this is what I know, that's not something, you can't just unlearn that shit. It's kind of like, if you're socialized to be a Christian, I'm not just going to come in here and sell you on the idea that Christians bullshit. Even if I can prove to you that the white man uses Christianity as a weapon against you, you're not going to drop off of that, because that's what you're socialized for. And that's for anybody of any race, white, Latin, anybody, Arab, what you're same thing. If you're socialized to be a Democrat, somebody is not just going to come and unsocialize you from that. You have to come to that on your own. You know what I'm saying? You have to question things on your own. And the thing is, women have every incentive to stay where they are, because by the time that they realize that's not beneficial to them, it's already too late. This is why these women are trying to hold on so hard. They want to make 40s the new 30s now. They want to make 50s the new 40s. This is why you have this. That's why you have motherfuckers getting BDLs, all this crazy shit, because they're trying to hold on. And when you say strong, is really to be in control. In their mind, being vulnerable and being subject to another man's authority is being weak. And so it's really control issues. And it's, when you say strong, picture somebody holding on to a bar like they're about to fall off a cliff and they're holding on so hard. That's what it is. And you have women that are like in the middle, like her and Danica Marie, that will say, look, that doesn't even benefit you in the short term. It creates problems, which reinforces the bullshit. It keeps you where you are. So even if these women are not as team black men as they need to be, they're like, even from a tactical standpoint, this is not how it is. Your quality of life is so, the way you're approaching this is detrimental to your quality of life. It just is. And this is where the next thing she says, knowing how to be versus do. Meaning the femininity is a state of being. Masculinity is defined by what you do. What you can do, that's where competition, but femininity is not as much of that. Femininity is more of a state of being. It's a state of being first, then it's what you do. Masculinity is forged in what you do. This is why things like confidence is based on what's normal to you, meaning what you've done. And so what you really have is women that have been socialized to really want to be men. And it's no different than Little Nas X. It's no different than Dwayne Wade's son. It's really just as goofy. And then it's like placing the blame and not taking responsibility, accountability for the choices they made in men. Absolutely. And it's the same shit. Like, this shit shouldn't matter if a woman's saying it. It should be just true, but it's not. And then women, and this is what I was talking to Ruby yesterday. I said, like, we were having a conversation about this. Women have no incentive. There is no incentive for them to dig in the mud and pull black women out of this shit. It's no incentive for it individually. Even in the women that can make a lot of money doing it, pretty much what April's saying is, I did the work. I built this passive income by building this content, these courses, investing the time, energy, branding into it. So I might as well just let that stuff rock. And then the women that find value. The women that don't. But I'm not going to put myself into it. Being disagreeable, defensive, argumentative for everything. And it's not just about just the argument. It's really the fucking dumbass questions women like to ask. They like to ask these questions like they don't know. Like, if you listen to the conversation I had with Ruby, some of y'all in the chat will talk about she's talking too much. But the thing is, she was investing in the conversation. You notice how Ruby adds things? Like, I don't have to pull this shit out of her. She actually adds things that I might not have brought up. And I'm not going to bring up everything. And she talks about her experience and stuff, not to counter what I'm saying, but to say, I acknowledge what you're saying. This, and this. By the way, it's this that I have. That actually builds on the actual conversation. You rarely actually have that conversation like that. And to be fair, and you're not always going to agree. The real Dana does that too. There's a difference between people being invested in the conversation and not being invested in being right, but being invested in actually getting this stuff sorted out. Most of the time, we don't have those conversations in this space, even amongst other dudes, more so than the women. But when you have women, what they're here to do is try to change the trajectory of shit. They're here to use what they perceive as their woman's perspective in order to, it's like a tug of war thing versus actually building up. And a lot of these women don't even know they don't even have the social skills to really engage in a conversation like that actually builds on the stuff. They don't. Because they want to be right, and when they think they had the information and they don't. You saw that amongst dudes with Anton and Charles if you listen to Shannon's video. And another thing too is with this is when you hear like Anton talk, and you hear, like, at the end of the day, Anton, I'm gonna say it right now, Anton has experience on marriage, but Anton's really not qualified. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Anton's not qualified to talk about the dating market. He's really not, because it's, dude, you've been married for like X amount of years. You're not really qualified. You're not. And if you say everybody around you is married and been married, if y'all have been married that early, like in your early 20s, that you're not qualified to talk about shit, because the way you got married is kind of what you kind of think the market is. So you're always going to default to what you know, which is what the dating market was when you got married. And really what it just happened is you did what you were supposed to, which is got lucked off. But the stuff that she's saying, like, I would love for Anton to bring April Mason on the Lapeef Network. Now, she has no reason to go on there, but I actually think it'd be a good But the thing about it is, April is not going to really be candid because it doesn't benefit her to be candid. She sees a new audience. Why would you do that? You might as well. She didn't build her brand for that. But if you read this, this is not a fucking complainer. This is a woman that's been through shit, done the work, been married, raised kids, raised them to be, and she has. Her kids are productive. Her daughter got a house without a dude, then got a dude. There's a productive dude. Son's in the military. She's done this. It's not a complainer. So, but this is the same shit we say. But people will sit there and say, "Oh, well, y'all complaining. I'm solutions oriented." Well, she's got 50 fucking courses. It's like this bullshit about, oh, I'm solutions oriented, as if other people aren't. It's the same shit. See, Boogie used to do that shit. And the only difference is, Boogie ain't got the money to like say, oh, I'm a millionaire. Boogie used to do the same shit. Niggas are not solutions oriented and this, that, and the third. And it's like a lot of niggas that say that are not really solutions oriented. They're not. They like to talk that shit, but when you actually get into the details of the quote unquote solutions, it ain't a lot of there. It's just them saying alpha your way through it. Be a man, alpha your way through it. Okay, well, what are the steps? No, fuck that, nigga. Just go north and just keep walking. That's what they do. As far as it doesn't excuse men's behavior, like I said, that just had to be in there. That disclaimer has to be in there because she's talking to women. What else is she gonna say? But here's how you know that's bullshit. Working with men is so much easier. Rebecca Lynn Pope said some similar shit. Because again, in the black community, if a man like respects a black woman, he's paying her for expertise. If a black man is paying a woman for expertise, black men have been socialized to not look at a woman as a woman, like you need to know your place. They're looking at you as an expert. Erica will tell you this too. Motherfuckers, like, she's not really getting that push. She gets that a little bit here, but for the most part, April's not getting that pushback because men are not socialized to be like, and this is not even always true. This is to our detriment sometimes. If a woman is saying something that's actually adding to what we're already trying to know, we're not going to say, well, she's a woman, she needs to shut up. I'm talking about the dudes that actually pay her for like matchmaking stuff. This is why she say that, because dudes are going to acquiesce to what she's talking about. Because they're like, then what the fuck am I paying her for? So if you've already crossed that Rubicon of the dudes giving you money, then in many ways, dudes will probably be more loyal to women than that. I bet you Kevin gets more pushback from dudes. To be fair, Kevin's probably good at really selecting his clients too. But yeah. Let me see what else. So anyway. Shout out to Charles Faulkner. So yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, let me see what else I was gonna jump on with this. All right, Gabe, our origin, value add, what this really means. So what does this really mean? What does this really mean? This is like, a lot of folks look for these like game ending like plays. All this is exhibit G in the list of evidence. Like I've definitely screenshotted this post, both posts. I've definitely screenshotted this post. Just like how I've downloaded Rebecca Lynn Pope's video, just like you have statuettes. Like I've got the video from Nicole Michelle, her post from her wilding out, because these are people that are involved in coaching women on dating, and they deal with mainly black women, and they're all, by the way, in Atlanta. April, Rebecca, and Nicole, and they all come to the same conclusion. And this is Atlanta, where it ain't a whole bunch of men like that. Because then you got to add in the sexual element. Now, I heard Myron said that 70% of people in Atlanta is gay. Well, I'm like, dude, you're in Miami. What percentage you think are like that in Miami? And obviously that's hyperbole. But the point is, you You're talking a lot, and then people want to say what they want to say about certain dudes. Them dudes ain't even checking for black, because just because you a black man don't mean you necessarily checking for black women like that. Yeah, John. Here go John Rowe. Shout out to John Rowe. This is somebody that's been a friend of mine on Facebook for a long time, for years now, even going back early. He says, "While I don't begrudge you for decision and for this decision, it is indeed concerning that you are the third prominent dating coach to do this. It seems to be running theme. I unfortunately wish this would be a wake up call for women, but alas, keep doing your thing." Also, keep in mind, Karazin snitched on the Kevin Samuels thing when she said that you can't even get these women to lose weight for white men. And see, the problem is when you hear dudes like Anton and they'll say, "Oh, well, men need to be held accountable." Men are fucking held accountable. Black men are the most held accountable fucking group. It is very easy to say black men ain't shit. Black men need to be held accountable. Black men are losers. Black men don't have your results because you're less than. You can say that on mainstream media. Not an eye's gonna be bad. You go on shit and say what black women need to do. Even if you're a black woman, yeah, you buying a Van Zam, you'll be chased off. You keep doing that shit, you'll be chased off TV. So when dudes come on YouTube or come on social media and be like, "Oh, well, we need the 50-50." Look, I get people are running shows. I understand that. But the reality is the gap is not in black men need to be held accountable. Black men know that. Most black and this is why people can't really be direct on shit, and they always got to talk from a rhetoric standpoint. They got to be, "Oh, well, you're the problem. You're creating single mothers. You're doing it." A single mother cannot be created without a woman's permission. And truth be told, if men had control, if men had birth control, you wouldn't even have these problems. They don't develop birth control on purpose. When you have 53% of your fucking men that don't have, see, but then he's the same motherfuckers who'll say 53% of the men that don't have kids. Now it's, are you getting pussy or are you lame? See, that's that double talking shit, you know. And when I look at somebody like Charles, for example, and I'm like, Charles is a military guy. Let me just keep it real. Military guy. And when I say military, I'm talking about bullets military. Not know he was just in the shit, right? Wrestling was that's the most conditioning you have to do. This is why football. There's a reason football coaches like when dudes do wrestling, because they know you're gonna be conditioned. They know you're gonna be conditioned, and they know you're gonna lift weights, not just run and lose muscle. So that's their favorite. If they try to push you into it if they can get away with it. So wrestling, mentoring boys, raising his kid. I believe it's a son, raising his kid. All this shit. On top of that, police officer in fucking Baltimore, which is the most, you got a cop more in Baltimore than probably in most cities. Like, we know the representative of Baltimore. I mean, what are we talking about? But even with that, it's still because you're not looking at a real person. What you're looking at is you're pretending everybody is this carbon copy image of what you think they are in the manosphere, because people are not showing their face, which is insane to me. Like, that's insane to me, as if you need to show your face. Like, the fucking vanity of that shit. Men don't assess men based on how they look. We assess men based on, the presence they have, how they act, how they move, not know how they look. Because that shit can be faked. That's crazy. Anyway. And then a lot of these people found her through the church. That's another thing too. A lot of April Mason's clientele is in the church. Y'all got to remember, Atlanta is like fucking, if they came out with a Grand Theft Auto, if somebody tried to come up with a Grand Theft Auto knockoff, that shit would be in Atlanta, because it's so many different, make sure y'all support the Cash App. It's so many different, like, things that intersect in Atlanta in black culture. It really is. From like mainstream media to like a lot of the sub shit. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. me say this is the exact reason why I stopped matchmaking as well. There's another chick. I don't even know this chick. Matchmake. I am still a relationship strategist, but I raised my prices and expanded to be global. So I work with different kinds of. Yeah, I mean they're all saying the same thing. When black women are saying the same, but like, and this is the thing, and here's the problem. Like we told Ruby, they can't. This is why when Kevin did what he did, a lot of women came up because a lot of women know what the fuck we're talking about. And this is why a lot of black women come at them so hard. And see, the problem is a lot of niggas, I get, if you a nigga and you over it, I understand that. But don't be so over it that you turn into the Joker and start running interference with what we're doing. Like a lot of women don't, I mean, Obsidian been talked about this shit. The old Obsidian. The Borg hive mind is real. And so for dudes to like pretend that doesn't exist, anyway, let's stay on topic. But what does it mean? Again, it's another piece of evidence on the long list of evidence. So when you get folks that like are brand new, regardless of what subscriber count they have, this stuff doesn't change. And so they come in and they may have a good rookie year or something like that. And to be fair, a lot of these people are putting in good work. They're putting in, their production values, their content is spurring a conversation. So this is not me hating on them, but this is me saying straight up. They lack a lot of context to shit. And so a lot of what they bring on is designed to elicit, build up followings. But as far as it's a lot of the credibility of the stuff, because you have women saying this. Now, women will never go on certain shows and say this because this is gonna, like, here's the thing. April will never go on like the Lapeef Network. Let's say they had 200,000 subscribers. She won't go there and then say this because this will damage her brand, because she will be seen as denigrating black women, and that's going to interfere with black women buying her products. So why would you do that? And this is the problem black women have, is that black men lie. I mean, not black men. Black women cannot tell the truth, because just like how black men are incentivized to not tell the truth. And by the way, that's all me. That background, that little graphic, the design behind the background, it's all me. They're not, they have no incentive. They have no incentive to tell the truth. They have no incentive to tell the truth. No incentive whatsoever. They have no financial incentive to tell the truth. They have every incentive to basically, I won't say outright lie, but what I will say is they have every incentive to kind of massage the truth. When these women need urgent help. It's like if you're on a table, you need, like, this motherfucker's about to flat line. You can't bullshit. And FYI, I put that shit together. Charles, I put that shit together. Give me some concept. I'll give it to you. I put that shit together in between me being on your panel and popping on. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of these. But yeah. So it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. And as Bernard said, he's gonna change. So where do we really go from here? And so what does all this mean? What does all this mean? Here's the thing. When I put together kind of that interaction between Anton and this post with April Mason, I've listened to a little bit of Obsidian set up. At the end of the day, the black people got to start advocating for, I hate to say this, but we gotta drop the pro-black shit. We have to start advocating for a libertarian dating market. And the reason why we have to do that is because even if you care about black people being together, what, in fact, let me do this. Let me see if this will work. Stop share screen, share. See if I can get away with this. I'm curious. I'm gonna do a little experimentation right now. What the fuck is it at? Oh, it won't let me do it. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And we got the background. Yeah. All right. let me go through some of y'all comments. It is fucking urgent care. Like I keep telling y'all, like zillennials are gonna take over. The earliest zillennials are 24. Y'all, black women already lost 2 years with COVID. Black women already lost 2 years with COVID, and that's not going nowhere. I mean, that you know, they literally lost 2 years. So if you're 39, you're 41. If you're 40, you're 42. They lost that with COVID. So, you know, now you're down 6 years. In 6 years, the zillennials will occupy the entire 20s dating market. And the zillennials don't give a fuck. You look at their patterns, they're dealing with different women. They are a lot more open. And the young millennials will be in their early 30s. I'll be 39, 40. I'll be where O'Shea and Anton is and where Charles is age-wise. And you know we ain't giving a fuck because we've already had these conversations. And women are not getting better, they're getting worse. Women are getting more open about their hoish ways. They're getting more open about everything. They're basically telling you they're savages. And when I say that, I mean the definition as far as they're in the streets. So, dude, ain't no point in being in a relationship. And as a man, as you start to get your economics, because we know your economics start to really kick in at 35. You know, we're talking about on the law averages. If you're on that route, they start to kick in at 35. We know your let me see this. Start to kick in at 35. We know your let me see. And it goes up and it peaks out at 50. So you're dealing with a market that doesn't care. And another thing is you're going to be dealing with a lot of, like, it's going to be an oversupply in the market because marriage rates are down. So what you're dealing with are a lot of women that are not covered. They're not married. They're not in committed relationships. There's going to be a lot of supply. It's going to be a lot of vaginal supply. And it's going to be a lot of women postmenopausal, horny as fuck. I mean, shit. I mean, say what you want to about April, but you're going to have a lot. You're going to have women. I mean, let me do a different picture. Trying to give y'all some variety in this motherfucker. I mean, say what you want to about April and Kendra G, the chick that went back and forth with I mean, Kendra G is straight for the stroke. If you look at her Instagram, you know, dudes ain't about to go over and river and through the woods. But she's straight for the stroke. And so the thing about it, is you got a lot of dudes. Because remember, remember what community you're in. You're in the black community. Remember what community you are in. You are in the black community. Come on, don't be stupid. Be stupid. All right, you are in the black. Let's see. Let's do it like this. You are in the black community. Yeah, you're right. 35 is middle age. So you're dealing with all these women. There's going to be an oversupply of women that want dick. They want, or they'll call it companionship. They're not married. The older dudes are going to be reaching down in the women that's in their mid 35s. They're not tricking on women that's 40 and up because they're going to be like, bitch, you got your own money. Why do I need to trick on you? At this point, good dick is what you're going to be offered. And I hate to be vulgar, and I'm not going to, you're going to have a lot of women, you know, like a lot of April Masons that are going to be available. I get the age she's old and getting old every day, but what I'm saying is there's gonna be some young nigga that don't care, and they gonna be like, "Hey man, this is pussy that's there. Who am I to not pick it up?" That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that these women are gonna get saved, but I'm saying it's gonna be so much out here. And so my point is the younger women are not gonna be able to play the bullshit because it's gonna be a whole bunch of dudes. I mean, it's well known for a lot of dudes. And then here's another thing: these women are not gonna just go off into the night. These women gonna start tricking. Now, I'm not saying that's what April's got to do. I'm not even saying that's what Kendra G's got to do. But a lot of these females that they see dude as sex objects, if you are pre-qualified and you're what they want, they're gonna drop money. Even after Charles got off that panel with Shannon, it was a dude, and I might actually play it. It was a dude that was And shout out to Dwayne, $5. Like I said, black women are finished. Even other races of women are telling black women why black men date out on TikTok. Yeah, that's definitely going on. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out for the $5, Dwayne. That is yeah, and what that shows you is women are starting to get bold. Women are getting bolder about. They're getting bold and they're getting open. It used to be white women were afraid of black women and Asian women and then Latin women were like the only ones. But now you're starting to see that's not true. You're starting to see that like it's not just Latins. So they're getting bolder. So they're kind of declaring war. And the thing about it is, black women have fucked up the trust and relationship with black men and black boys. They're gonna try to lean on my mama black. That's not working. That credit card is maxed out. So the thing is, black women can't put the black bitch down. And dudes are gonna and these women are gonna make themselves known as the culture changes. Because at the end of the day, people don't care. And then you gotta also understand that a lot of these dudes ain't got the same kind of standards, even at the same level that these non-blacks have. And then these other groups have their own problems, right? So at the end of the day, you're gonna have an oversupply in the market. You're gonna have a market that's very hostile. You're gonna have a lot of dudes that if they can't get sex out of the market, they're just gonna go MGTOW. They're gonna pick up the game. They're gonna start being, being in whatever virtual worlds they want to create. And y'all could call them lame. Y'all could call them like, look, let's keep this all the way 100. And I'm going here today. You got a lot like folks, you got like these porn barons, of these websites, Bang Bros, Pornhub, the Hub, you know Blacked, all this stuff. These motherfuckers are getting crazy money. They're getting crazy money, and it's not even black people. OnlyFans, you know there's market, the cam shit. And people can judge it, people can say what the fuck they want to say, but at the end of the day, it's still an economic factor. Nigga, them niggas are lame. Okay, let's say I give you that they're lame. Now what? You're not gonna make them not lame because they don't got to interact with you. These people can interact with their own markets on Reddit. They don't got to be around you. So you saying that they're lame don't really mean shit. That doesn't really help the women. That doesn't deal with the women and their supply problem. So what you have is a whole bunch, and then this is where Anton was trying to, and this ain't about Anton. I'm just referencing that. Anton was trying to say, "Oh, well, you're creating the problem." No, he's not. You're not. No, Charles didn't create the fucking problem. Oh, you're creating the problem. The problem is that you have women that they're putting themselves in position. Like this is why Jason Black said, because Jason Black is way. Could you imagine what Jason Black would think about Anton? By the way. But this is why Jason Black says a lot of these women need to be side chicks to an alpha dude. Because he's like, look, y'all need to be committed to somebody. If y'all want to be out here, mercenaries, free roaming females, but you want to be anchored to somebody, which is low key a pimp situation, to be honest with you, then you might as well go ahead and fulfill that role and stop bullshitting. Like, stop bullshitting and start embracing that shit. I mean, for real. And this is not about April. I'm saying for all of it, because it's like all of y'all are not gonna get commitment from these guys because it's not enough of these guys. It's a math problem. And I know women don't like math because it doesn't really gel with their emotions, but they're dealing with a mathematical problem. And even if you date out, well, that depends on who wants to keep you. Because the truth is, in order to get picked, you got to do a hell of a lot more to get picked up by to get commitment from a non-black man, particularly a white man, because that's what these women are really looking for. That black women are not really looking for Hispanic men like that. They're looking for white men because let's keep it a buck. Hispanic men are on the shorter side of the game. Let's keep that a buck. And the way Hispanic men act, they're patriarchal in a way that black women don't like. And black women don't even put up with that shit for light skinned dudes. So they're not gonna really put that shit up with them. So really their only options is black or white. Yeah, they're not dealing with Asians. It's really black or white. That's really their only options. And white men are really looking at Asian women or white Hispanics. And to this certainty, so you're always gonna have to date down unless, like David Carroll says, your real priority is a biracial kid, which is really in the cocktail of a lot of these females that don't really want to be honest about that. That's how you know their standards are bullshit. Because if they had all these standards, nobody talks about the fact that black women have all these standards for black men, but these standards completely change once they date out. Their standards completely change. So when you look, and this is not that far in the future. It's really not. Like, I'm telling you when it's going to be, when they're going to be 30. But the truth is, you'll see this creeping up the whole time. You already see it now. You see the complaints. And all these women are not even in the market yet. That bottleneck is happening. And these older women, and see, this is where the shit gets real crazy. These women like April, they're playing to win. They're not playing with you young bitches. You all are not on when they come to that shit, you're not on the same team, which is something that's very different than what you see in a lot of other races of women. That's when they're going to pull matriarchal rank on y'all, and then that's when you're really going to start to see problems. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm bullshitting, think about in the black celebrity world how you have these old women that can't let go. Only in the black community do you have women that they got to be in the forefront, but you 50 and 60 years old. And that's normal, not like an exception here and there. We should constantly be having women like Chloe Haley, Lori Harvey replacing the old, like every other group does. The new it girls. You don't have that. What you have is black women that'll be like the it theme, like it group or the it clique for like 20 years. And then when they're completely old hags, they gotta get dropped off for new women. And then it becomes that cycle all over again. And so you're going to see this war because at the end of the day, nature's going to run its course. And a lot of these women are going to be like, yo, y'all had y'all time. Y'all are not about to sit here. And you see it. And that grooming shit, you see that shit too. Because then the other side of it is you'll see that they're working with each other to be 304s. Like you see Bernice Burgos and her daughter. Pink Book talks about this a lot. That grooming shit. And that's why when people like to talk about grooming, I laugh because I'm like, yo, black men are not even around these females to groom them like that. That shit is really that black men are the last men that are grooming females like that. And while everybody's focused on black men, and this is not me rehashing other shit, but I'm just saying, while everybody's focused on black men, they have a complete blind spot to other shit. Do you believe that today's black women are a result of black men grooming them? It's today's black women that we deal with today. It's today's black women that April is talking about. Is that a result of black men grooming them? Is that the product that black men produced? But this is a conversation we can't have. So what we do is we overcharge shit when it's convenient. Let me see. I do a good background. We overcharge shit when shit is convenient. And we do this virtue signaling shit. And this is why when people talk about, well, is this what you stand for? What I stand for is people being accountable for their decisions. Oh, how can you say that when blah, 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 blah? Easy. I said that dude released the video. What comes with that video got picked up by Auburn Preach. That video is actually, I've been typing in his name, Glendon's name in the search, and then not search. It was shit. You know what? I'm curious. I haven't done that. Let me type Glendon's name in the search engine. I know this isn't about him, but I'm curious real quick. Another dude picked it up. It's on World Star now. Another dude picked it up. It was 175,000 views. Glendon is gonna be held. It's not a black man is gonna be held accountable because he's a black man. It's because he's a black man. So I don't have to worry about, oh, this is where this is where they're getting these little pictures from. Okay. Um Instantly, it really ain't that bad. It really ain't that bad. So there is some related searches, but it really ain't like, because you gotta type in more his name for it to come up. But no, when you type in a couple of other stuff, oh yeah. Oh, this is interesting. But anyway, I don't want to change the subject. I know y'all like, really. Oh, I love it. Glenn Cameron is a perfect example of the type of filth and disgust the red pill promotes. Oh yeah, these TikTok views, boy. These niggas. Anyway, like I was saying before, he said you're gonna see your face on one video. I'm gonna see my face on one video. I mean, you already got Jerome trying to talk about I'm gay and shit, like a bitch ass nigga. Nigga, please shut up. Like, hold on, where's this dude? I don't know what you mean, so I'm not gonna block you. I'm gonna just put you in timeout for that dumbass shit. Every nigga y'all disagree. Like see, this is the shit. Like, see what y'all really, a lot of y'all get emotional. So y'all, like, don't even get me started on that bullshit. My point, my point with this is where the market's coming, and the market is already here. And what you have is, what black people tend to do is, black people tend to get in a denial. They get in a denial, and then they are, and that's a Jewish dude that runs that website, runs those networks of websites. They're in denial. Let me stop the screen share. So if some of y'all want to come up real quick, y'all can come up, because I've said my initial stuff. But black folks are in denial, and shit got to be right up on their ass for them to accept that it's here. Also, let me put the Discord in, and I got to give like Ease and a couple other folks some stuff in the Discord, because if any of y'all start wilding the fuck out, it's not big enough yet for me to, but trust me, y'all will get taken out. So any of y'all got questions about what I've said, feel free to ask. Man, why is this always freezing up? Say, think about it. Even the incel ones don't want black men. Yeah, the incel white men. Yeah, they be wilding in the Discord. Yeah, they do be wilding in Discord, but that's what the Discord is. The Discord is supposed to be in a, like, and shout out to Ease. Shout out. I need to start promoting Ease channel just off the strength of Ease. And I will start doing that just off the strength of Ease helping with the Discord, because I do check the Discord out. I got to get that on all my stuff, because like I said, I made a commitment to y'all to be in there like 30 minutes. See, they can't let go that they know young women are the only just competition. And that's another thing too. That's why black people have this natural. Let's be clear here. There is no age consent for black boys and black women. There is no age for consent. Motherfuckers only feel some type of way when that shit is one way. And that has nothing to do with Glennon. I'm just talking about, let's say you're dealing with a dude that's like 45 years old, and he's dealing with a female that's like, let's say 28. You still gonna have somebody that's gonna feel some type of way. All right, Black Mind. And let me share your channel too. You still gonna, cause Black Mind be doing a lot of work. I actually don't share his stuff enough. You still gonna have somebody that's gonna feel some type of way, because at the end of the day, black people fundamentally don't they don't believe in kind of the natural order of things, a certain shit. And people will blow up about the other shit. But even if you go, even if I put the number to 25, they'll say, oh, they don't want this, they don't want that. I mean, well, if they don't want it, then don't worry about it. Casual observer, do you think black men will ever realize that black women just don't want normal heterosexual relationship, real on marriage? No, not the majority, because black men are in denial too. Mick Drama Bear, which I appreciate. He's I guess a newer subscriber. He's definitely been engaging. I appreciate that. I think it's a lack of critical thinking skills. These women and guys who cape for them can't think through the results of their actions and attitudes. Well, it's not a lack of it. You're right, but it's not really the lack of the skills. It's a will issue. It's not a skill issue. It's a will issue. They want to lean more towards their emotions. And I mean, and people don't understand even with me, everything people can disagree. Everything that people are saying, people pay attention to. So when you say, even if like you may think you saying some shit, but people can put that shit together with other stuff you've said before. And that's even true with me. And a lot of people, they'll say shit in a certain conversation, but then in another conversation, they'll say some different shit and it's not in context. Think about it. Let's see. Joel Breezy, they can't let go because they know. Uh, Damn, why is this? Yeah, what's up, Black Mind?
Well, what's happening, sir? How's everything going?
It's going. This ain't gonna turn into no 3-4 hour thing. I'm letting the chat know. I want to kind of speak on this. Kind of get back into the flow of things. So, and I
No,
put your
but
link in the
this gonna turn
channel.
into 6 hours, man. Yes, it's gonna be 6 hours. Just go ahead and get ready, bro. Get you
No,
some
not
coffee.
for April. Not for
No,
April.
no, get you a black bull. You know what a black bull is, Edward?
No, what is that?
You just take a Red Bull and the strongest black coffee or espresso you can find and mix them together in equal parts. That's it. And I
Oh,
tell you what, man, I took one morning, right, bro. I got halfway to work before I realized I forgot my car at home.
oh wow, that's a joke.
Yeah, yeah, okay, man. I'm joking about the black bull. I don't recommend people do that except maybe once a week.
No, the
Um,
reason why I kind of pause on that is because that goes back to that Glenn and Cameron story with those daughters. Black boy. I'm like, what this thing I said? Let me see. So I know you would.
oh, oh, dang! I didn't think about that. That was so. I'm so sorry. That was so absent-minded of me, man. I was
No,
actually
no,
thinking
ain't
of an
nothing wrong.
energy
They didn't.
drink,
I mean,
right?
you said what it was. I mean, that makes sense. That's why I was like, let me not say this is see. Even I know. Let me. What is he saying? Because I don't. But that makes
So,
sense.
did
Like,
he say that he mixed energy drinks together like that, or coffee and energy
no,
drinks?
no. What she asked him was, she said, "Are you a black bull?" And he said, "Well, yes, I am." Don't that sound like support?
Oh,
Are
damn!
you a
That
black bull?
sounds like some old plantation stuff to me. Some
Well,
an old plantation
it's
fantasy.
Georgia and it's white bitch. I mean, they,
Yeah.
that's that and that's a whole nother set of the run with the cuckoldry stuff, because black men and to be fair, there are black men that could do it, that don't do it, and they don't do it on that basis because they'll
Hmm.
even say that shit's weird. Um, and it is. I mean, it's different, but yeah, motherfuckers are bold. Are you a black bull? And to see me, I'd be told I'm not black enough. I've been told that by white women. Not to be a black bull, but oh, you're not black enough. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's funny.
There is that too. Well, yeah, we both seen that happen before. I would have heard the same thing from some of them if I was willing to get into conversations with them. The only reason why women didn't tell me that is because I would politely bow out of conversations once business was done. Because um, coming up in the Gulf Coast, different than Atlanta, you expect to be beaten in some areas if you're caught with them. You expect to be beaten or followed home or something like that, depending on where you are.
You expect to be just the way you say that. Like, you expect to be beaten. Like, bitch, what did you think was gonna happen? No, like,
Yeah, they're not
turn
playing,
the
man. I
fuck
mean,
around. Yeah, no, for real. And that's why, again, I'm like, look, man, if you think you can do better somewhere else, go ahead. They may, go ahead. It'd be like like Swirling, the horror movie.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to make one of those, I guess. But then again, in all honesty, we've never sat up and said. And I told somebody, I told the lady in the so-called in this golden sphere to which I've introduced the manosphere. There's a lady that she's actually been voted out. She got voted out last night by the ladies of that sphere. But what she said was something about divesting and swirling. And she was saying, "Why do black men get jealous?" And that was the title of one of her streams. I went on one morning about this time and said, "Look, tell the truth. There's a guy named Edward Anderson, and there are more men that listen to him than there are that listen to you or to me. And what he says is, go ahead and swirl. As a matter of fact, he challenges ladies to go ahead and swirl. He says, do it. If you can do it, go ahead and date out. Because you said that black men are so ain't sugar honey iced tea, that in actuality, it's a challenge at this point. So go ahead and do it, because he wants to see the proof as to which one of us has the easier time stepping out. And so we had this conversation in which I was letting her know that it's really not that big a deal for a lot of brothers. What it is the bashing. We don't like to be bashed. It's like sisters will say, "Well, date out if you want, but don't be bashing us in the process."
Which
Then we would
most
say the
dudes
same
don't
thing.
even do. Like most dudes are not on YouTube. Most dudes that are doing that, they're not committed. They're done. They're just doing what they're doing. And women, again, that's women self-aggrandizing. But I'm curious, what did she say?
Well, the thing is, sir, we got into another debate about some things, and one thing,
She changed
even
the
though we
subject.
had a cordial conversation, she actually came out and said, "Look, I'm not about being fair to men." She said it. Now, she also said that light skin, which she called golden men, she said we're not her type, categorically. And the reason she gave was we are too pretty. We look for the women to take care of us and buy us stuff and things like that. So she came, and this is somebody in her 20s. She came with the stereotypes from the 80s. Now, you and I know, and well, I know from 1989, and I'm not sure from what year you would know, but I know from 1989, we were not allowed to be that way anymore. We weren't allowed to hardly ask
Well,
for anything, really.
well,
By
well, and the thing is, and this is the part of fetish. This is the fetishization, and this is what I would have said. And I'm not saying you said anything wrong, but like when I hear that, I'm like, okay, so here's the thing: you have a right to have that opinion, but this is what you don't understand. You think that you say that about light skinned dudes, but the opposite doesn't work for dark skinned dudes. What I mean by that, this is you fetishizing black men because you're looking at light skin equals this fetish, dark, which you may not be attracted to, but this is the stereotype, right? One
Mhm.
person's fetish is another person's stereotype, and then dark skin is this fetish. Because on the one hand, the niggas you are attracted to, y'all say ain't shit. So it ain't like they're taking care of you, by the way. You
Exactly.
know, but on the other hand, you all are saying, oh, like you can't show me no light skinned dude. No, like you can't show me no light skinned dude today. This most like if you look at dudes that talk about being taken care of on the homosexual side of the game, if you any of y'all prove me wrong, when y'all look out here in these streets, light skinned dudes are not what you see. What you see, whether even if it's with the big bitches or whatever. So this is not about. So my point is because she's gonna believe what she's gonna believe, but I'm gonna highlight this is you fetishizing black men. So when black men say date out and then you say, well, those women fetishize you, it's like, okay, as opposed to what you already do. The difference is I'm getting more for it because at least I'm getting sexual access, I'm getting cooperation, even if it's built on that. And this idea, and again, because there's dudes that have that mentality. And black men, light skinned black men are not don't need validation from black women. And this little and it's funny they say that because black women are out here getting fucked by Arabs. So it ain't really a skin like it's like so Arabs are same skin tone, but you don't see that. Um, but y'all are out, y'all out here, in certain regions. It ain't like y'all ain't necessarily talking to Hispanics like that if they'll talk to you, which again are lighter in skin, if not outright white. So it's kind of like, is it really the color or it's what you've been imprinted by to associate? And again, I'm not fuck you dealing with light skinned dudes, but understand that you have the opposite mentality. The problem is your programming. See, now if a black man, see if I as a black man were to say that light skinned women are more feminine than dark skinned women, just off the strength of the skin tone, you're gonna feel some type of way, i.e., Too Short, when he said he prefers mixed women. Now he's got to apologize. And it's not about me feeling some type of way. Fuck me, but you go out in the dating market with this programming, and then you wonder why what's reflected to you. All these, you attract all these law of attraction females. You wonder why what you attract is the same bullshit.
Well, here's what she did. I'm gonna give you some more insight because I learned something from her, and I want the men in the manosphere to know about this. She, of course, she's made enemies even amongst the women in the sphere with which she associates
Well, a
herself.
lot of these hoes just want attention, and they ain't saying shit. They're just
Kind of, but she
they're
still
just
told on
acting.
herself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm gonna let you say it, but I'm just like, one thing is I've learned that certain women don't even need to be like certain women don't even need to be taken seriously because like the easy thing, like this is what I another thing I would tell her is go talk to like I would love for women like that to talk to Crimson Cure, to talk to Love Dorsey, to talk to Chaz, to talk to Pink Book, even Ruby, and they're gonna realize how fucking stupid they are. But go ahead.
Well, the thing was this. I found out later on, actually, I found out last night that apparently she had a crush on somebody that's quite pale out of New Orleans. Now he's a street dude. He's an ex-street dude actually. Got face tattoos. Since then, he's reformed. He seems to have really turned his life around. To be fair to him, to be honest. But apparently, she told someone that she had a crush on him. Now, somebody brought back this. Someone explained to her that he was not interested in women who do sex work. So that ruled her out. And she felt some kind of way about it. She was also seen on somebody's live stream, apparently, according to the witness, trying to get the attention of a white fella who turned her down. And she felt some kind of way about it. No, it was on an OnlyFans video, apparently, trying to get the attention of some white fella. And she felt some kind of way about it. So it appears to be this. What they want is, and mind you, she also said to me outright, I'm not here to be fair to men. You men owe us protection, provision, and everything else. You owe us the bag, you owe us a lifestyle, and we owe you nothing. She even said, even if you get married, your wife doesn't owe you sex,
Yeah,
but you
good luck.
still
I mean, good luck
owe
with
the
that.
world to us.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Go
she
ahead.
said, she said this in the same sentence. So she wasn't unaware that she was telling us the specific combination. And she outright said, the only reason that I'm not really at war with men is because I don't think enough of you to be at war. So what it really came down to, and I came to understand this from her, was that it wasn't that she found any particular shade unattractive. She just wants all men to feel unattractive so that they will worship the ground she walks on. And she later said that in another stream to somebody else, and I was listening, she said that men owe it to women to worship the ground women walk on. Women owe it to men. Women owe nothing to men really except to give them a hard time. So she admitted she was very one-sided in this. So what she wants is for every man to feel like he is her last choice. And she's not the only one.
Yeah,
What she
Black
did,
Mind. Hold on, Black Mind. You know what I want? You know what?
mhm,
Not that I want. You know what I would like? I
what's
would
that?
like somebody to invent a machine that I can walk in and walk out 6'3". That's what I would like. That's what I would like. That's what I would like. I mean, I would like to be able to play in the NBA at 35 years old. I mean, like again, and I hear what you're saying, and look, God bless you because dudes engage with shit like this because it gives us sometimes good content. We not
Mhm.
necessarily talking about her, but talking about like this is what's out here and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who you talk about either Morpheus, so I get that. But I would have, I mean, straight up, I would have told her good luck with that because with and here's the thing: women like that having channels is not a bad thing, and I'm gonna tell you why because it attracts women that are like minded. This is why I keep telling people Cynthia, even Ruby didn't know why because I said I'm glad Cynthia G. I hope she gets all the subscribers she can get because what that does is y'all are out here saying black men hate black women, but this is the stuff that's on her channel, and this is all the subscribers she has. And by the way, it's not just when she's got probably like 20% men on it. So, this allows me to showcase the BS. So at the end of the day, women can want what they want. It's not about what you want, it's what about you can get. And as I said, against the market, see, it doesn't matter if she's being fair. Because the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter what you say. 1+1 is 2, no matter how you go about it. So I wouldn't even personally waste my time arguing with her, especially you said she's in her 20s.
Yeah, yeah. She said she's in her 20s. Some lady said that she's actually lying in her 30s, but I don't know which one's telling
Well,
the
I
truth.
mean, if she's doing sex work, I mean, this shit, like, and again, I would say if you talk to her again, I would definitely talk to her about the post that April Mason put because this is multiple female coaches now. See what she has to say, but the thing about it is, again, a lot of these women want to have their sense of control, and women fall into in the absolute delusion, and it really is, because at the end of the day, I mean, so I mean, she ain't saying shit. I mean, letting stupid shit come out of her mouth. The biggest thing I would say out of what she said was the fact that she's so bold with it, which is what you're communicating to me. How she's just so open about her being that flagrant, and this goes to show you how comfortable they are. And so when they try to play a game about, well, we like, what Courtney tries to say and stuff, we haven't been taught, we don't know. No. Like, we're way past that. Y'all are like 10 years too late on that conversation. That's a conversation that need to be had back when SWP was coming up. Now it's, you all have just been too, like, think about it, Black Mind. You got women, all these females that need to be protected. One of the things, now that I'm kind of away from that conversation, one of the things I talked about a long time ago is how women women will talk about dealing with drug dealers like it's nothing. These are the same people that want to protect like all these moral folks and think these people can be redeemed. If you're a female and you've dated a drug dealer or two, as far as I'm concerned, you're not a wife. You're not qualified to be a wife. You can't be, because a dude will be a fool to marry you knowing that, because the fast money and all of that, you've been poisoned. You have, marriage is a marathon, and you can't run. If you, sprinters don't run marathons for a reason. There's a reason why you don't typically see sprinters run marathons. It's a fundamentally different way of going. Different legs, different muscles, different, your heart's got to be conditioned a different way. And you'll hear women talk, like Chrissy, for example, talk about, oh man, and I been with D boys. They call D boys to make it sound better, just like how white bitches call hooking up with guys make it sound better. I'm
Mm-hmm.
with D boys and da da da, and this D boy and that D boy and this D boy and that D boy, and I'm like, so basically, you're comfortable with criminals, but you think you should be a wife? You think you can go to white people and do that? Or white men, if they know that? And this is where you live in a perpetual state of deception comes in, or when you are going to be honest, the shit sounds cracked out, like what you just said with the other person. I'm not here to be fair with men. Well, it's a concept called reciprocity. I don't know what world, I get you want a Themyscira, but even in Themyscira, the men are just not there, because that's not how that works. There is no place. The black community is the closest place you will get to what you're talking about. There is no place on this fucking planet that operate. The black community is literally the closest, and the reason why you operate that way is because that's served as a form of chaos. You are allowed the delusion or perception of what you think you're getting, even though that's not exactly what goes on, because you are a agent of chaos, and you're allowed to do what you do in order to basically fuck up with the whole community. And at the end of the day, it fucks you up in the long term, because you're the one that actually needs a community. Women need a collective more than men actually do. Men can be on their own in an environment. We're built for that. Women aren't. Men are built for, basically taking the environment and bending it to their will to get from one place to another. We evolve that way. Now, yeah, we work better in packs and in groups, but women are not built for that. They're not. And this is why even when women form kinship networks, it's never going to be the same as a woman having a network of females is never going to work out the same as a woman being able to deal with one too.
Yeah, it's not going to be. And the thing I wanted to point out about her really was only I wanted to point out what she had to do with April Mason and Rebecca Lynn Pope, by the way. And
I don't
also,
mean to cut you off. Let me get this super chat out the way, and then we'll shout out to Dwayne H. I appreciate that, man. I believe that's you again. I appreciate that. To be honest, I've talked with a lot of other races of women that have black men as partners, and they tired of black women in that fetish talk, and black men's money should go to other communities. I mean, the reality is, I look, man, I can tell you that fetish shit. That fetish shit is, I mean, that fetish shit is not as valid as what black folks like to say. That's some shit they lean on. But go ahead.
well, the thing is that this lady here, she takes pretty much everything that we've seen from the hyenocracy, the hypocrisy, the gynocracy, the matriarchy. And by the way, her sphere was formed as a reaction and a pushback to the same gynocracy. They're defecting from the same one that the manosphere is against. But
That's
what she has
interesting.
said, yes, it's ironic. We have a common enemy, but right now, There are men in the manosphere that are learning about this new sphere, and we're trying to coach these ladies because they said we don't want a gender war, so we have to try to coach them to not start one, not because they really don't care per se, but it's because they're still Western and they still came with certain modes of thinking that would lead them. With the difference is this: we know that the conditioning that they go through is largely subconscious. In her case, it simply became conscious, and she said out loud everything that we've been talking about coming from the gynocracy and the matriarchy. It's so bad that the other women of her sphere voted last night, my time, yesterday afternoon, you all's time, to vote her out of it so that she wouldn't completely run away the men, because they want to have an offline community one day, and they understand it's going to take two to tango. And she's running the men off. Now, that goes into another story, but because she's consciously said all of this stuff, you can simply listen to her talk about men, and you will understand, and you will hear consciously articulated things that we've been trying to put into words dealing with the gynocracy and the matriarchy. Next thing I was going to say is that this lady here I'm talking about, I put her name in the in the chat. Thanks, Ask Quentin. Appreciate the compliment.
Yeah,
Uh,
put her in the. Sorry, see this dumb
I
bitch
did.
is.
Oh yeah, I did. I did. I spelled it for y'all. I put her in, and Ask Quentin saw it too. I put the link to her channel, but what she and April Mason and Rebecca Lynn Pope have done is they have pretty much exonerated every non-select male from Atlanta on down, at least that Interstate 95 corridor that runs into Florida, because that's what this other lady is, somewhere in Florida. What they have done is they have, if you lived in Atlanta or anywhere that's culturally influenced by it, and you're non-select, you're exonerated. So with this, and what I mean is, even to the extent that a man may actually be a bum, she even to that extent, yes, Hybrid Ninja Perspective, Bossy Empress TV is her name. If a man is a bum, but this is what you're dealing with, these abnormally high standards, too many demands, from ladies that are bringing nothing in exchange, that whole Superman Lois Lane syndrome that they have. And you got April Mason quitting and Rebecca Lynn Pope quitting, and they're in the same area. And the only one in the area we know of, the only matchmaker left in that area of whom we know is Nicole Michelle, who actually has voiced the same Lois Lane Superman syndrome. Then what this tells you is you're exonerated, gentlemen. If you were a bum, you're still exonerated, because how the hell would they know you're a bum? Your normality, you not being a baller, means you're a bum to them. And Nicole
Well,
Michelle said
yeah,
it.
and that's and that's their and what's interesting about that is you got dudes and like Anton that validate that mentality. Like Anton to say shit like, "Oh, well, women shouldn't settle." That's a very first of all, black people
Did
have
he
a
ever say
bad
that about men? I'm just curious. Did he? And I hate to interrupt, but I have to
I
ask.
don't know. I don't. I actually I'll give him credit. I don't think he has. I don't think he has. Like the
Okay.
rhetoric that he has said does not indicate that he believes that, because I've seen him say stuff to the contrary of that. So I'll give him that he's like that on both sides. But it's not about it's not about life. Like life and maturing is not a. It's about finding what's important to you. That's part of what wisdom is. And that's part of what knowing yourself is. So if you say that it's like with a okay, let's look at this like looking for a house. I'll give you a perfect example. Like when my mother was looking for a house, she wanted, and this is some yeah, we were helping her to get a house. Me and my brothers. So or me and my middle brother. She wants a house where she can have dogs because she likes dogs. And because of her age, we definitely want her to be happy with what she has. Because the house is the type of thing with a female, it's like every day you in it, and then you like, 50 something. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna die here, and I don't have what I want. People get very emotionally attached to a house. Women that could. So she wanted one. So this is what we knew. We knew she wants one in a certain neighborhood. She wants one. She wants a house on a townhome. She wants with a backyard, so she got dogs. These are understandable and reasonable things. But depending on where the market is, what the price points is, what you can get, we want her to have something that's new, because we don't want to get no shit that's gonna break. Because when you have a house, you got to deal with it. So we're like, look, and then she want to talk about where she not gonna go, and we're not talking about places that are crime ridden or anything, but because of her reputation and certain things, and we're like, look, you're gonna most of those stuff were reasonable enough that we think we can get it. But like, if you're in a market where they're building a lot of townhouses and you got to compromise on some things, and 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, all that was in there. You got to, so 2 stories, because this is going to be from my mother and from my aunt, right? And you have, and based on price point and stuff, it's like you need to really understand what you prioritize, because you may not get everything you want, but it cannot be because I don't get everything, I get nothing. Don't let the Chris, what you say, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And so at the end of the day, now luckily we were able to accommodate most of pretty much everything. But like when the markets get crazy and stuff, you gotta, cause then there's other people bidding for these houses and all that. The point is, it's the same thing with dealing with people. You have to understand what is really important to you. Like really, all of that list, it's cute when women in their 20s doing it, because they're young. They're gonna do that. That's the one thing I will give them. I'm young, 25 and under. But once you start to get in your 30s and your 40s on that bullshit, and this is what April Mason main market is like 35 and up, really like 37 and up. So that Kendra G market is her market. Her market is not young females. It's not. It's not women in their 20s. It's not women. I would argue 33 and down is not typically what her market is, as far as who typically gravitates her stuff. Um, so what you have is a lot of women where they think they can just do some kind of mental glamour job and then come out the other way to just like on some reality show shit to get the perfect guy that they want. And Rebecca echoed this stuff when she was talking about she had dudes that are like former athletes and former celebrities, so they got the height and everything, and they're still not good enough. That's a problem with the female. And that's why when Kevin was saying you're gonna have a problem, it's saying your inability to like really understand like what's in front of you, and the value of what's in front of you, because you expect everything to be ready made. That's a form of immaturity. That's why the emotional age of a lot of these females is very, very low. And you got women are actually blowing up their own marriages off this influence of social media stuff. So my point is, when people say shit like you shouldn't settle, that's not really, you know, well, we got to use different words because, a woman shouldn't settle. Well, if the bitch didn't die alone, if the bitch becomes on her own towards the end of her life, leaning on her kids or leaning on other stuff more than she should because she don't got a man, because her dying alone, that women don't just go off into the night on their own like that. They try to drag everybody and everything with them. Now, I'm not saying that it's different degrees to that, to the impact of that, but the reality is those burdens can be carried on to other stuff. They absolutely can be. And just to get out, this is gonna sound fucked up, but my aunt has a mental illness, and my aunt was married, and my aunt has always been like loopy like that. It just really one day she just lost it, and my aunt was married to a dude that was 6 foot, and a dude, and a dude that, I mean, a blue collar dude. So if my aunt was mentally ill and she can get married, then a lot of you females are like off the goddamn chains. And again, when you're honest with them, they really don't want to be married. What they want to be is forever 304s. They want to be forever young. And so Anton is looking at this world, in this cookie cake world, like, well, you just need to not deal with the some women that are 304. No, most of these women are operating like that to some level of degrees. Either they're actively doing it, or they're like the people are living vicariously through them doing it. So again, when you say like never settle, like at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, don't settle. But it's not society's fault you don't get what you want, because what you want is irrelevant. What's relevant is what you can get. And like that's really on. And if you can't get what you want, then be by yourself. Go get a dog. Don't fucking get sperm out of a nigga and then be a single mother, because that's what goes on too. So again, a lot of these dudes, a lot of these men look at this shit like they want to be a 50-50 thing, because they can't really look at problems where they are. Men are not supposed to say shit. Men are just supposed to be perfect, but women can. It's retarded. And these are the people that, but as far as this bossy chick, like this is
She should not have had credibility. I only mentioned her because of
another
how
one with consultations. Who the like consultate? I mean, this is what this is a female. This is a female that's mentally ill. Like straight up. Like this is a chick that's talking all this shit. She's got her OnlyFans. And then there's women that actually listen to this shit. Let's see how much her OnlyFans costs.
And the thing is, I only mentioned it because of her
I'm
honesty
not
and
hating on her
braverness.
because she got her OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Um,
but that does take away from her credibility. And the other reason I mentioned her was that she actually had a lot of lady friends, even born again Christians, that were friends with her. And it's only recently that they began to argue with her
yeah, born
because
again hoes.
pretty much a lady's argument. Only recently, some of them began to argue, and I listened to the ladies that were arguing because I didn't have a choice for a few days. But only one of them was actually bringing up valid points. She, what it took for the most part was when Cynthia started talking about aborting black male babies, and she was in favor of it, which I didn't know at the time. And some of the ladies heard it, and they said that's just going too far because then who's going to come and build for us? And these were ladies that had said we're not going to bring the gender war into our particular sphere. To be fair, but then again, she didn't lose credibility
This
soon
is
enough based on what everybody could see about her from the very beginning. Um,
this is who Black Mind. You see the impact there with Black. This is who Black Mind is arguing with. Like
Well, no,
one of
she just started the argument. I had no reason to
uh,
argue. I was just telling her what you said,
oh,
so that
this is bad. Look at this is yeah. Trust me, like light skinned dudes will be all right.
yep. Oh yeah, we certainly will.
You know,
But
I
she's
feel mhm.
she's vocally articulating consciously everything that the gynocracy's been telling us, and that's what I wanted people to understand. If you just want to hear, I'm not going to tell you go to her OnlyFans. It's blocked here anyway, where I am. But if you just listen to what she's already been saying on her YouTube channel, you're going to hear everything vocalized.
So a couple of days ago,
And that's
Yeah,
all.
I mean, yeah, because she ain't got nothing to lose. This chick ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, this is Platinum's type.
made a video breaking down how a lot of the
Word.
old school relationships were really trash. And even though someone was with you for a very long time, they were not happy. And per usual, men got in their feelings and cried all in my comment section. Y'all claim to be so logical and we're so sensitive and emotional, but y'all cry a lot about things that don't even apply to you, allegedly. I even had a dude tell me that I need to start listening to Kevin Samuels. I made a
You're an idiot.
reply.
Don't do that, guys. Never tell them to listen to Kevin Samuels. We give you these women for a reason. I'm telling you, a lot of these chicks love Dorsey. Love Dorsey is a good one, but again, love Dorsey, Pink Book. Chaz don't need that kind of stress. Pink Book is cool with the smoke. Love Dorsey's cool with the smoke. Who else? Crimson Cure. I'd actually bring her with Crimson Cure, but so it don't matter because when you give them dudes, that gives them a convenient out. I appreciate you promoting me though, but that gives them a convenient out. You know what I'm saying? It's harder if you got a list of women that you're telling them to listen to. It's harder for them to do that because you notice these women ain't gonna do that. They're not used to, anyway.
Reply video about that with
In a
TikTok
gender
won't
war,
release it.
you blame not only your enemy, but you blame those of your side of your uniform that aren't harsh enough against the enemy. That's how you know it's a war. And they would, I would have told her about Crimson Cure, but I didn't get a chance to, Edward. She started cutting me off. Actually, it wasn't her. It was another guy on there, another man who's about 54. And he started coming with this old fashioned stuff. Nice guy. The conversation was cordial, but he just kept interrupting everybody to give his old fashioned viewpoints without factoring in what's really going on in today's time. So actually, I think Mr. Fantastic would have had a grand old time with this guy because he would have really called him. He would have really made fun of him for being out of touch with modern times and even with modern laws. But look, thanks for having me on, man. My class is about to start in about 2.5 minutes, so I got to go and try to teach my students some English. And I just wanted to throw out there that right now, for the most part, I just wanted to say that non-select men are being exonerated every day. Because if normal is considered non-select, then forget about whether you a bum or not. It doesn't mean you don't have to work on yourself. It just means that how the hell do they know you're a bum if your normality is
Yeah, well, that's because they're overly materialistic, which is why you tell those women to date out. But anyway, man, I ain't gonna have you be late for your own class because they'll be like, of course, these niggas.
Yeah, they sure will. And some of the students would actually say, "Man, what happened to Professor Black? What's going on? Is he okay?" Because this is the good class. I don't want to miss a minute with them.
All right, man. Absolutely.
All right.
Man, I appreciate it. I'll share your video, and share your channel, and yeah, peace out.
Thanks a million, sir. Y'all take care.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, these are the pictures she posted, man. These are the pictures she posted. Just like how I shared the pictures Kendra G posted. These are her pictures. I'm not, hey, y'all could draw, y'all could. This is Platinum's type. This is that, this is Platinum's type. And I ain't even trying to play Platinum. This is a whole talking about men should worship the ground, women. Oh my God. I wouldn't even, like I said, I'm shout out to Black Mind, and I get it, but y'all know good and goddamn well y'all ain't never seen me argue no female like that. That, you know what, that strikes me as like Miss J would be like a dark skinned version of that, a darker skinned version of that. And with my but those are those women that they need to make, that's that overcompensating shit. So I don't even take that seriously. You got dudes that actually take that shit seriously just because it comes out of a woman's mouth. And trust me, I do the same shit. I used to, and I still do. And it's like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing that. Shout out to BGS. I mean, but yeah, that's a chick that can, like, good and damn well ain't no other group of men dealing with that. That's some shit that only black, and that, and the fact that she's in that group, that tells me everything I need to know about them other females, because birds of a feather flock together. So again, you got women that they're just at war with everything. And BGS, if you can come up for a hot second, definitely do so. See what you got to say about the April Mason stuff. Is Art Install on? And then remember, this chick that you just saw, she got an OnlyFans. And y'all guess how much her OnlyFans is? Y'all, some of y'all probably look. Guess how much her OnlyFans is? Let's see what Art Install talking about. Yeah. Anyway, $10. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you what I learned, because I'm about to wrap it up. But nah, what's up, Ease?
Hey, what's up, Ed? I just want to make this quick. Um, like what I've been noticing the trend on YouTube, right? And like it's just all these smaller damage control channels coming up, like her and shit, trying to rebrand black women, and it's hilarious.
Oh
Like,
God.
like they know their image is fucked. So now it's like even with April Mason, she's trying to rebrand herself too. Like they're all trying to run for
They're all jumping
Blackistan.
ship. They all
Yeah,
playing musical chairs.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm seeing all these smaller channels that are like doing like TikTok swirl couples, and it's like like y'all are really in damage control mode. Like
Well, I
y'all,
mean, the TikTok swirl covers, that, I mean, that's a part of the damaged brand, because the thing about it, like this is what if I'm being honest with sisters, and I'm not about to go on a diatribe. Black women have to understand, they really believe that nobody sees them.
yes, absolutely, yeah. They think it's only us. They think it's
Yeah, like
only
everybody.
us.
Yeah, and it's like, y'all really think everybody is stupid. They really do believe they the smartest motherfuckers like on the planet. They really do.
Oh, Ed, you want to know proof of that? If you go on, let me. Oh, I'll post this to you in the chat. Wait, let me show you this shit. Because when I found this shit, I made a video on it. This is from a children's cartoon show. I just want you to watch this.
I mean, the gynocracy. Yeah. So, Ease, why you looking for that? BJ. So, what did you think about the recent April Mason's recent slam the door post?
You gotta, if you're gonna do that, especially in an environment like this, you got to come up with some receipts, because you can't just talk to make women feel good anymore. You're gonna have to deliver the goods, and they can't deliver the goods, and you can't train black women actually deal with men, black men and men, period, telling them what they want to hear. That's how come they're all flocking over to Kevin.
I didn't. Oh, you damn BGS. I didn't even think about it that way.
Hmm.
I did not even think about it that way. And like I said, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up. So I definitely want to give BGS his shine, but I want to do um.
Yeah,
Well, it was this
I posted
cartoon
it
you
in the chat,
talking
and
about.
yeah, I
The,
posted it in the chat. Put it up,
yeah,
and I want just show it.
All right, it's
Just
only a
play it.
minute. It's only a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah,
Oh,
just
this
play
is
it.
Kim Possible. Like
Just put
he
it,
gonna get
play
my
it.
shit copyrighted,
No,
man.
just
yeah,
play it.
it's
Just
gonna get
it is.
copyrighted.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Then
yeah,
we'll
it is.
watch it on
Yeah.
your own time. Then watch it on your own
I'll
time.
edit. I'll do it anyway. I don't give a fuck. I mean, shit ain't
Yeah,
like these gonna catch a lot of views.
Girl, that
That's
is
why y'all gotta support with Cash App. This is sponsored supporter content.
Hmm.
just us watching
I
this.
know, but what if Bonnie has, in her own stupid way, a point? Shut. I mean, what if there is something wrong with me, Monique?
Because you're not dating a quarterback?
I'm weirding guys out. They see me on TV, roundhousing some goon out a window. It's a vivid image.
Kim, you are a strong, independent woman. Any brother afraid of that is not worthy of your time.
Yeah, maybe, but
This is a
Hold
cartoon
on,
show.
hold on.
Let him finish. Let him
sadder than
finish.
going to the prom with your just a friend.
And his naked mole rat.
I mean, a date would be nice. A stinking BF.
You're letting Bonnie play you.
Am not.
What good is saving the world if you don't have someone to share it with?
Okay, a little. Just once. I'd like to make her eat her words.
They are low carb.
KP, life as we know it has changed forever. Naco night is no more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just all that is indoctrination of black girls. That's
It
grooming.
was indoctrination
That's
of
what
white
you.
girls now.
Yeah, but that's what you
Yeah.
call grooming.
Yeah.
Like you see what I'm saying though. It's like you're seeing like that's a cartoon show from like 2003. So this idea that only we see it, that it's only black men. It's like no, like everyone knows who y'all are.
Yeah, they're just not hiding it anymore. They're just saying it bluntly.
Yeah, and
bro, it's like-
because they honestly don't think nothing's. See, what they don't understand is the damage has already been done.
Exactly.
It's not gonna be like a nuclear bomb that's gonna go off. See, black people are always looking for the shit to be televised. They're looking for media to tell them what's up, and this is why we're always the last people to really catch on the shit. And so, it's not going to be this. It's going to be a slow. It's this thing on the Expanse where it's this guy that basically just like he's a terrorist and he did some really like a 9/11 event on a planetary scale, right? And and it was one of the people that, because you had this like faction called the Belters, and everybody they get why he did it, but they're not on board with that violence for a lot of different reasons. One is because they might kill them. One's because they may not want to stand for that. But one of the captains, because he was riling them up, talking about, well, we're not. He said, we're gonna start a war, and he was like, we already been at war. You just didn't know because they were killing us slow. And my point is, the way stuff moves, if you're all about the trends and stuff, you don't think about the long term. And unfortunately, black people, black men too, unfortunately, because they were raised by black women, they don't think about the long term. So they're not looking 10 years in the future. They're not looking 10 years, let alone 20, 30. This is why I keep telling them there's an urgency. Y'all are coming in here with this fucking bullshit from 2010. All this I don't know what about. I'm like, no. That's past. The urgency, it's urgent. Y'all need to go ahead and say, really, what do I need to do, and just do it. And if you don't want to do that, then it is going to be what it's going to be, because the black man has got value, whether it's genetic, economic. They are not going to have this undying loyalty to sisters if there's nothing, if they're not getting anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not. And y'all can sell that because that's where we're at now. We're selling it. And now that the problem with April is April charges prices where they're going to want a result.
Yeah.
This ain't Derrick Jackson. Well, Derrick Jackson, part of his business model is getting views and stuff, but it's also, he does courses, but his courses are not going to be like, these women are charging like $1,000 for their courses.
Yeah.
So you're not about to drop $1,000 and then not expect some kind of outcome.
And the women that dropping that grand have pretty good jobs, and they want money, and they want high value dudes that like the ones that Kevin is pushing.
They want 666s.
Yeah, they want 666. Yeah, and they're not gonna get them.
But I didn't
Because
think about that as far as the Kevin thing. As far as, do you think that Kevin, like, that's pushed that's one of the motivations
no,
behind why she
yeah.
left?
What the thing is that I'm sure I'm sure she's trying to get results, and I think her constituents are actually pushing her for results. But the thing is, the only way to get results is actually for the women to actually do the work, and they're not willing to do the work. And I haven't got my, it's COVID. I'm lonely. I need my six-figure guy, and they're turning me down, and I'm trying your stuff, and it's not working. So eventually you're gonna get tired of that. You're
Yeah,
gonna
and
go out of
April's one
business.
of the few that didn't even mention Kevin. She played it smart.
Hmm.
Because the smart play would have been just keep your fucking mouth shut. Even if you don't like them, see where it goes. Because once you play that card, you can't really unplay it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. She's trying to same thing that Kristen Carrazin was trying to do. And I told Kristen Carrazin that like 5 years ago that you're trying to play nice and trying to play nice and placate black women's feelings is not going to get you anywhere um, because they're not going to want to do what's necessary to
yeah,
actually attract their desired result, and they're not.
Yeah, and you're not, and this is why when a lot of guys are getting this market, they stay into the just telling women what they want to hear, and
Hmm.
they deal with the mindset and empowerment part because you don't really have to be accountable to things. This is why the
Right.
church works so well, and the women are actually, and April knows because April's had to do the work for herself. Whether
Hmm.
the results of that, you can open it to interpretation. I will give you a woman that raised productive kids that
Hmm.
are with black people, even if they made mistakes, that counts for something, because that is a reflection of her, even if she does stupid shit every once in a while. But again, the women are not these women. You're gonna have to restart. They're not gonna change. They're just like these women are already done. You can't really teach old dog new trick. Now they may negotiate,
Yeah,
but go ahead.
they're gonna have to change their behavior. Otherwise, they're gonna keep getting those results. So you can't tell them anything. The environment's gonna have to teach them. Now, the thing is that they're behind. They're starting to change, but the thing is, will they change fast enough to compete? Probably not.
No, and then the other races of women, these other races of women are starting to get bolder because they're starting to realize they got to have their insurance policies.
Yes.
If they can't get the men that they, because let's be clear here, the only thing that really kept a lot of these non-black women from black men, this people don't have a true appreciation for how much this society, in so many of the multitude of ways, the society has tried to basically take black men off the sex. America is a walking experiment of, can you really absolutely destroy the sexual marketplace value of black men? No, and correct me if I'm wrong, BGS. I don't
Hmm.
think any other country has probably engaged in that experiment more than the United States has
No.
in human history.
No.
And I
No.
think that for the most part, outside of outright just killing and exterminating black men,
Yeah.
like I mean, we're gonna go here on like a Holocaust level,
Yeah.
like the just doing it over time, it is not worked.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the reason that they couldn't exterminate black people or black men is because they were making money off of them. Okay, so when they only try to integrate you when the money flow stopped. So and now it was too late to exterminate you, so they have to integrate you. And to do that, they have to lift up the restrictors. And black women have always uh, relied on uh, white men keeping black men in check. Now
Yeah,
that they
and
can't.
yeah, and this is and you see that reflective in, like, you're in the West Coast, you see that reflective in these
Hmm.
dating markets. See how these women got mad. What do you? I mean, you're in California, although albeit Southern California. What do you think about the Too Short situation? Where he said he likes mixed women, and he had to do like a 10-minute apology because black women
Because
didn't like that.
because it's gonna mess with his money. It'll kill half your market.
Yeah,
Because he's not the too short of 1990. He's a too short of the 2020s, right? So he's got to sell products. He's not the bad boy selling albums and doing
selling bitches
concerts.
and hoes no more.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like
He's
nigga,
got
you
he's Snoop Dogg now.
said all I said is I like light skinned women. Shit, I ain't calling them
Hmm.
no bitch or no hoe, dude. You would have did better calling them bitches hoes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Stand on your
What?
disrespect, bro.
Dead ass serious. You
That's
did better.
crazy, though. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
but
That you made fun
his
of it.
agent said you need to retract. You know, I said you getting contracts canceled. You
That
need
is
to.
They
crazy.
said, "Not no, I'm sorry, cause that don't work. Cause the baby tried that. You need to do this shit for like 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
nigga. What, nigga? Yeah, nigga. What, nigga? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to, yeah. It's up to you if you want to keep making money.
Yeah. And
Apologize.
it's better do it now, cause the longer you gotta do it, you don't want you'll have to bend the knee
Yeah.
harder the longer you do it. So
You are not Dave Chappelle, sir.
That
yeah,
is crazy.
shit,
But
Dave
you are
Chappelle.
right though, Ed. If
I
he had
still
just
gotta
said
see
that,
that
it would
shit.
have been better.
You ain't seen it yet.